Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector.
Pete Henry Gymnasium, where Mansfield Senior and Mansfield St. Peter's will take the floor in a regular season finale. That's coming your way next.
We are uniting Park National's family banks under one name to serve you more.
This bank's about service to the community.
I mean, your customers become your family, and by and large, you become their family.
Customers do come in and they do feel like they're a part of our family, and they feel like they know us and we know them and we care.
Park National, our family of banks, all together now.
Subscribe or be subscribed.
We welcome you back to Pete Henry Gymnasium, where we've got a regular season high school volleyball finale. Two teams that have really struggled all year, both only winners of one set throughout their campaigns, but a rivalry match nonetheless. Bragging rights up for grabs, and both of these squads eager to get a victory to close out their season. My name is Brian Skoronsky, joined tonight by the one and only Travis Berardi. And as mentioned, Trav, neither of these teams have really tasted much success. However, talking to both squads before this match tonight, nothing would make them happier than to end their seasons with some victories. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second after we honor America with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner, our national anthem. We have honored America, and it is go time here at Senior High, where, like I was saying just before the Star-Spangled Banner there, you know, you wouldn't know from talking to these girls out here and their coaching staffs that their seasons have not really gone the way that they would have liked in terms of wins and losses. They're excited for tonight's game, and both of them feel like they got a really good chance to win.
Yeah, Brian, I was just here last night. Mansfield Senior taking on Mansfield Christian. It was close the first two sets. Mansfield Christian won the first set 25-23. They went out to an early lead in both those first two sets, but Mansfield Senior were able to claw their way back. They tied it, I believe, at 20 in the first set. Mansfield Christian pulled away, made it 24-21. Mansfield Senior had a couple chances, and then they had a service error that finished the set. So they were in that first set against Mansfield Christian. Second one was pretty much the same way. 25-21 was the score in favor of Mansfield Christian. Again, the Lady Flames out to an early lead. And then Mansfield Senior once again coming back, tying it up. They tied it up at 20 again, and then Mansfield Christian on a 5-1 run to finish that. And then the third set, I think Mansfield Senior just had a little bit taken out of them. They were a little tired. Mansfield Christian won at 25-15, but a lot of fight in that Mansfield Senior squad. And I know we've seen St. Peter's against Mansfield Christian as well earlier this season. They had some fight early, but Mansfield Christian able to pull away late in all three of those sets.
Definitely expecting a highly competitive match here. Tigers like to scrap and claw and haven't put their heads down all year, according to their third-year head coach, Jessica Pingatore. And on the other side, for their first-year coach, Margaret Couch, another team that they haven't allowed the losses adding up to impact the way that they are preparing for each game. And they're out here tonight both hungry, looking for a victory to close out their regular season. And I love this cross-city matchup, you know, just separated by a couple of miles and both winless. But one of these teams is going to walk off the floor tonight with big old smiles on their face, knowing they got that dub, Travis.
Yeah, definitely. And I know on the St. Peter's side, there's a few of their players that this is their first time playing volleyball. One of the players, Josephine Reef, she's mostly a soccer player, but you know she plays on the side with the volleyball team as well. So young squad for them. Mansfield Senior, I know they have 3 seniors, so they have kind of a young squad as well. And, well, as we're about to be underway, this should be a good one.
Let's go ahead and meet the starting lineups now. First for visiting Mansfield St. Peter's. Yeah, talked about the youth of the squad. Very dominated by sophomores. A lot of 10th graders. And then for Mansfield Senior, Brooklyn James does a good job. She dominates the middle. She's going to have the size advantage on any one-on-one matchup that she gets here tonight. So look for her to try to be an impact performer. And as we say that, miscue right away for the Tigers and James, and it's going to be St. Peter's with the first point.
So Kaylee Roberts, the libero, starting things off for St. Peter's, and it's 1-0 Lady Spartans. There's a double hit against Mansfield Senior, so it's 2 straight for the Lady Spartans.
I think whoever probably wins the first set
There's an ace.
could propel them here in this match. And Mansfield St. Peter's right now obviously off to a nice start. 3 straight points, getting this thing going.
Yeah, and this is something that, like I said earlier, Mansfield Senior had some trouble with is starting off the sets. I know last night Mansfield Christian went off to a 6-7 point lead early on, as that's a net violation by the Lady Tigers. So 4-0, yet again another early start by the visitors. But then the Tigers seem to settle in, start making their comeback, but those early deficits really just too much for them to overcome.
So Seeley again on the serve. Tigers this time handle, send it back over. Push shot over the top by Cotton, and Spartans cannot handle it, so Lady Tigers do get on the board here. 4-1 here in the early going, set number 1. Janiyah Hudgens checking in. She's got the serve. Free ball now for the Tigers. Try to set up for James in the middle. And she got the point.
And if that James name familiar to anybody at the OH Report, Effie James' daughter.
Effie, of course, a big volleyball fan. I'm sure he wishes he could be here tonight, but we're happy to bring the live stream for you folks watching at home.
Just out of bounds. So 3 straight now for Mansfield Senior.
Good back and forth action here. Getting the match started. And you got to imagine the team that has the fewest miscues on their own side, as that's well played, dumped over by Abigail Baldassar for the nice. Their mistakes is probably going to get the victory here tonight in this match.
Yeah, as the Tigers pull out their first time out of the set early on, but that just go to that point right there. Mansfield Senior, it looked like it was going to drop. They kind of let their guard off a little bit. St. Peter's able to get the dig under it, and it drops down. They have to just keep on their toes the whole night. They have to be ready for anything to happen. That's something that also happened last night against at Mansfield Christian, is it would look like they would finish the point off, but somehow Mansfield Christian would keep the ball up, and then it threw them off because they thought they finished the play already.
Just staying mentally engaged, playing until the whistle blows. Big part of every sport, I would suggest. And sophomore setter Audrey Couch gets ready to send one over for the Lady Spartans, and she will. A little side spinner. Tigers weren't ready for it. And you saw pretty much 4 girls standing around, not a lot of movement on Mansfield's side right there. Got to get some more girls swimming to the ball.
Yeah, need more movement, exactly. And that's what you have to constantly be doing on the volleyball court. Make sure there aren't any gaps for those balls that falling right there. There's a big gap right in the middle that St. Peter's is able to find. They're up 7-3 now.
Another point for Abigail Baldassar. This one's set up for Finley.
And a lift called against Mansfield Senior. So another point for St. Peter's. It's 8-3.
Let shot right there from Cotton. And St. Peter's handles it, and a lot of empty spots on the floor. You see very little movement here early for the Tigers. They're definitely going to have to get their energy level up as they're in a 6-point hole here, set number 1.
Yeah, not as much movement as I saw from last night's game. I don't know if they have a bit of a hangover from that tough loss to Mansfield Christian or not, but really slow start compared to last night.
That serve's going to miss the mark, so the Tigers get the side out, try to build some momentum here with the serve, and it will be Montasia Lindsay who will send. Just transferred over from Mansfield St. Peter's, spent the last 2 seasons over there. Said she had this one circled on her calendar this week. Excited for this match, of course. As James sends, and it's wide. So Mansfield just not getting any momentum. No back-to-back points here since that 3-point run that they had earlier.
Yeah, I like the idea of going right side line. It's just a little too much power on it as we see another ace by the Lady Spartans.
Baldassar off to a nice start here for St. Pete's.
You were talking about that momentum earlier, Brian. I mean, St. Peter's, ever since that 4-3 score, on an 8-2 run.
Very quiet here in the gym, of course, with the limited fan attendance. That's something that I spoke to Montasia about a little bit before the match, and she said that it's definitely been weird playing volleyball with the restrictions in terms of the fans as Mansfield delivers. That's Daisy Mans coming up with the kill shot.
And the Tigers with 2 straight points now. I mean, it's still early on here in this first set. They're able, if they can get a couple runs going, to get back into this, and there's another one. So 3 straight now, and it's only a 5-point set.
James from the serve, looking to continue the streak rolling for TY.
That's a nice serve right there. Just barely over the net. Had that straight line drive instead of a lob, and unable to dig it out is Roberts.
A lot of velocity on it. You can see that she's picking on Seeley right now. Though this time she scores the point. Isabella Smith, the senior, was unable to deliver with the reception.
And remember, that's something that Mansfield Christian did against St. Peter's, is go against that right side of the back line, and it worked a lot. And
working right now. Look at this run that James has him on, pulling within 2 now. Does Mansfield Senior, and a timeout called by the Lady Spartans, looking to regroup.
A 6-0 run by the Lady Tigers, and now it's looking like that match yesterday against not St. Peter's, but Mansfield Christian, where they were down early, but they clawed back, tied it up midway through. Let's see if they can continue with the momentum and actually pull off the set, unlike what they were able to do last night.
Tigers did a good job of not getting too worried about the early deficit, just trying to get it back 1 point at a time. And right now it's James delivering from the service line for Mansfield. Gets some pretty nice zip on her serves.
She does. And like we saw with that first ace that she had, if she can just get it just over the net, maybe get a let ball off of the net, she's going to get points more often than not from it, because just the trajectory of that ball, it's more of a line drive. It's tougher to dig out than one of those lobs that come straight down to you.
What's interesting is she's picking on the 2 seniors on the back line, so it's the veterans right now for St. Peter's that are not coming through. Though this time Seeley will bump it up. Now Baldassar sends over. Big swing and too much from Mans. So the run ends for the TY Tigers. Serve back over to St. Pete's and into the hands of Adrienne Allen.
But they did what they needed to do and get the set back to 3-4 points after that run, and that's exactly what they did. It's now 13-10.
Set up to the outside. I think that's going to be a double hit is the whistle against Cotton. Allen to send again. Side spin on her serve. Diving to the floor, that one just misses the line.
I like the effort there from Allen. Pretty much laying out to get that, but just unlucky that it sailed just wide of the line.
Another nice serve from Mansfield. And too strong is Isabella Smith. So the Tigers again pulled back within 2. And here comes the senior setter with the serve. It's a nice one.
She did have a few aces yesterday against Mansfield Christian.
Now Shania sends, pushes it over. Good chance here for the Spartans. And one of those campfire plays, Travis, that we've seen a lot this year, where it just lands right in the middle of everybody, where it's all trying to generate a little bit of warmth from that ball. They're just all kind of standing around looking at it. That time Smith found the empty spot.
It's that back line of Mansfield Senior. Once the play gets going, they need to start creeping up towards the middle. I know sometimes people would like to use that back line, try to creep it inside of the back line, but Mansfield Senior is going to have to try and move up to the middle, because half of these points that St. Peter's is scoring is right in that campfire in the middle of the court. Another double hit called against the Lady Tigers.
So St. Peter's extends their lead out to 4. And Madison Bay's not a good serve this time. So the unforced error is the side out back over to the TY Tigers. And we'll get a look at the freshman Daisy Manns from behind the service stripe. Way too much that time from Smith.
Yeah, not a lot of tall players there from St. Peter's, so sometimes you're going to see those mishits.
Yeah, the Tigers certainly have the size advantage. That's one of their big middle hitters right there, Victoria Brown, sending one for the points. Tigers within a point now. And then Mansfield, they've gotten right back into the game where they've pulled within 2 and then 1 right there. And then that's right when their run ends. So you can kind of tell that they're not really used to like being in these competitive matches, Travis. And
exactly.
Neither is St. Peter. So I look forward to seeing once we start getting into the 20s here. These teams haven't been closers all season.
No.
Which one's going to step up?
Yeah, this is I hate to keep talking about last night's match, but this is exactly what happened. They tie things up, but late they'd make these service errors. It's like they try to get a little too cute to try and take the lead when all you need is just go to the basics. Stick to the basics and make the other team make the mistake.
There's
Brooklyn James. Not in my house. So now we are tied at 17.
Brown serving for the lead. Set up outside. Baldassar sent back at her. No chance that time. James with back-to-back big plays.
So now the TY Tigers with the lead late. Can they finish things out, or can St. Peter's recover? Because ever since that big run, they really haven't done much offense.
Baldassar has been their top threat. The let play this time works in her favor. And that's been the sweet spot so far for the Lady Spartans. Finding the middle of the floor there. This time a little bit lucky for her to get it over the top of those middle hitters.
And when you need somebody to get a point, you look towards your senior leader, and that's what she did.
This one popped up, and they're going to let it go wisely. So back to square. Actually, Mansfield on top, 19-18.
And I like the fight from the Lady Tigers. Team that hasn't won all season. This is your final game. And for most, if you're down 7, 8 points early on in the set, some people would just, say, okay, we're done with this one. Let's move on to the second set, reset. But this Mansfield senior team, they continue to fight despite adversity all year. And now they're only 5 points away from winning their first set here at Pete Henry Gymnasium this season.
Like I said, this is where it's going to start getting interesting. Which one of these teams that is not accustomed to being able to close out, they haven't felt the sensation really of, oh man, we're a couple points away from getting this set. Who's going to step up, rise to the occasion here in this match? Got a good one going here in this first set. Baldassar, big swing. And off the tip, Tigers can't control.
So now it's a best of 5. We've played 40 points. Nothing's changed since 0-0 now.
Substitution. Kanijah Green checking into the match here for St. Peter's.
And that was a tough one for the back line. That was one of those, I don't know if I should dig it out or not, but that was so close to the line that it was really a good serve there by Baldassar.
This one shanks just a tad. So we're back to even. 21 apiece. Brown back into the match. She moves to the front left. And now James with the serve. This was really the turning point here in this first set, is when she got the ball, and as I say that, Victoria on her first try puts it right into the net. She can go take a seat.
The good old commentator jinx, Brian. Adrian Allen the serve for the Lady Spartans, leading by 1.
Tigers do a nice job to receive it. And hitting the deck was Allen, couldn't make the play.
Daisy Manns using the back corner. We're tied again.
Bumps up to the middle for Smith. Over the outstretched arms, that one's gonna land in play. Well done.
Yeah, just hit the back line. And another one of those for the back line of Mansfield Senior, that's tough. You really have to make that decision. Is that going out or is it going to stay in? They thought it was out, but just hugged that back line for the point. And St. Peter's now 2 points away from taking the first set.
Imagine there's a fair amount of nerves right now for Madison Bays as she sends this one, and really wasn't very close.
Yeah, her last 2 serves, not the best, but saying that from a guy that probably couldn't even get it near the net anyway, so.
So now Daisy sends one back line, played by Seeley. And Mansfield now, set point.
Could this be the moment where they get off the schneid at Pete Henry?
The Spartans return, and it sails wide, so Mansfield Senior will win the opening set, and you see the smiles. They were excited for tonight's match. Right now, they've got the early lead. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back. Set 2 action from Pete Henry. Coming back live and free on the OH Report.
We are uniting Park National's family banks under one name to serve you more.
This bank's about service to the community.
I mean, your customers become your family, and by and large, you become their family.
Customers do come in and they do feel like they're a part of our family, and they feel like they know us and we know them and we care.
Park National, our family of banks, all together now.
Subscribe or be subscribed.
We're back inside Pete Henry Gymnasium on the fabulous campus of Mansfield Senior High School, where the Lady Tigers coming up with their first home set victory of the season. See if they can string together another one here, and it was a hard-fought first set. 25-23 came down to the wire, and I talked about it a little bit during that set. Neither of these teams are really used to being in that situation towards the end. And you could tell St. Peter's had several unforced errors when they had the chance to close it out. Mansfield stepped up at the end. They got it done.
Yeah, I got to love the resiliency from Mansfield Senior. They were down 7 points. I believe it was 11-3. And then they made a big run, cut it to 14-10, and then just continued to claw point by point back. And really, the next time they led was 24-23. St. Peter's, like you said, multiple chances up one late, just couldn't finish it out.
There's a kill shot right there. Brooklyn James starting off set number 2 with a point for Mansfield.
And she was one of the keys in that comeback. Couple big blocks at the net, couple kills right there as well. Really brought the TY Tigers back.
Big junior middle hitter, and now Mansfield on top 2-0.
And we were talking at the break, Mansfield Senior finally tasting a set victory here. What are they going to do with it? And it looks like they're riding that momentum right now up to a 2-0 lead.
Hudgens with the first couple of points off the serve. Well received that time for Mansfield as well. Good communication going on down on the floor on both sides.
And you see that back line now moving up towards the middle. In the first set, that's probably a point for St. Peter's.
You know, credit to Coach Pingator making the adjustment as Mansfield comes up with the block.
Return to sender from Brooklyn James. Looking like her dad on a basketball court.
Have to brush off the old VHS tapes for that one. But I have heard the legends of Effie James back in those early 90s. This time just a little bit too pumped up was Brooklyn. Airmailed that one.
Ladies Spartans on the board. There's Effie.
OH Report's own. Can hear him on a football broadcast Friday night. Be over at Clear Fork. Colts taking on Lexington. Live and free on our Facebook and YouTube. And there's James again. Puts it away. No chance.
She watched the replay right in her wheelhouse, and she just slaps it to the ground. She scored 3 of the first 4 points here for the Lady Tigers.
Well, she's got great size. Dominant physical specimen out there in the middle of the floor for Mansfield, and that's a nice serve. Floating it right to the perfect area. And a point for Montasia Lindsay there. Extends the lead to 5-1.
Yeah, getting the ace against your old team. A little bit sweeter for her.
Set up to the middle, Baldassar. Nice chance!
Oh, say it up. Wow. And if it wasn't for Cotton there, that would have been a point for St. Peter's because James thought she had that completed, and you saw she started walking away. So that was a heads-up play there by Cotton to keep with the play and finish the point.
Free ball. Try to set it up out wide. Rushing in to make the play is Mans. Not a great set that time, so Allen sends it to the back line. Mansfield handles, but a double hit right there by Shania.
And St. Peter's needed a point like that to come because it seemed like it was starting to slipping away for them. But they returned the point right back on the service error.
Audrey Couch right there with the miscue.
And that's just some of that youth showing for St. Peter's.
Brooklyn fires one at Smith. Now again Mans. Baldassar bumps it up, back to her. And she's got the point right into the grill of Victoria Brown.
Yeah, Brown just got there a little bit too late for the block. Instead of being right at the net, she's about 1.5 feet behind, and so instead of that getting blocked down into the net, it got blocked on her side of the net. There's an ace.
And Zakaya Mans right there, the libero. Miscommunication with herself, I think. just tried to play it with one arm, and that's usually a last resort in this sport. Another nice serve by Baldassar. But
Somehow.
How about the effort by Cotton to get that over? That's going to work out for the TY Tigers.
And it's those effort plays that usually leads the points because, like I said earlier, other side's not expecting that to be returned over. All you have to do is just get it back over the net and see what it goes.
Running serve that time. Now set up here near side Mans. Hits it at Baldassar. She didn't get a clean hit on it. And so the Tigers extend their lead to 5. This is a Mansfield team who told us before the match it's like a family out here. They haven't let the hard times in terms of the wins and losses get in their way. Genuinely love each other, and they feel like they've actually grown and they've gotten better with the adversity, even though the losing has taken its toll a little bit. I feel like they're better, stronger friends off the court because of it. I thought that was a pretty cool anecdote.
Yeah, it reminds me of the East Knox squad that we've covered this year, as that hit the ground before the dig, so that'll be another point for the Lady Spartans. But yeah, it reminded me exactly like East Knox. Despite them being down most of the match, they're still laughing, they're still hustling, and they're still having a good time. I mean, you got to love the game to be able to play, and if you love the game, you'll have fun.
Because that's not the case for every team. I've definitely covered teams that get down on one another, even talented teams that win games.
And you see that more often than not with more of the talented teams. I guess, I don't know if it's the pressure of trying to win every game. Other than this, for both these squads, they're just, they have nothing to lose. They're playing with house money right now.
Allen sends with their Spartans trailing by 3. And that right in between the defense, Victoria Brown.
Little miscommunication there by that back line.
Yeah,
she
flexing on them.
Gives the flex. What can Brown do for you, Brian?
Well, come up with a point right now for Mansfield. And then a free ticket to the gun show as well.
Think she has a permit for those?
Have to check that after the match. I'd like to give a shout out to everybody watching online right now on our Facebook channel. And let us know, weigh in the comment section, where are you taking in this Battle of Mansfield from? Let us know where you're watching.
That one into the net, so it'll be another point for St. Peter's.
I think Maddie Sheldon just kind of mistimed her jump right there.
Yep. And something cool walking into the gym today. I know Mansfield Seniors head coach said that the Lady Tigers were pumped that we were here last night and tonight. They watched the match last night, and they were excited that we were back. So that's another fun thing for both these squads. You get to be on TV. Or the internet, whatever you're watching it on.
I mean, you can. If you guys are watching on YouTube, go ahead, use that second screen technology, throw it up on your smart TV. And or that's what I think is so great about our platform online is that you can watch it right in the palm of your hand on the go, and pretty much on any place where you can get the internet. You can watch the OH Report.
That's a service error, but I was watching your great soccer match last night. The Lexington Clear Fork match, but you did ask where everybody was at, and I saw somebody watching from the stands. So they had your broadcast on while at the game.
Actually surprises me how often I've seen that throughout the year, specifically with football. Notice that there'll be a cluster of people on their phones listening to the play-by-play while also watching it, because I think it gives them a chance to watch the instant replays.
Exactly.
And that's what they like.
Yep.
James, again.
Swatting that like LeBron James. NBA champion LeBron James, I should say. Bringing another title back to Akron.
4-timer now. Baldassar with a big jump. Nice swing, but played well by the libero Mans. And then a whiff from James on the other end.
And then she knows she did. She's cracking a smile, laughing right now. She knows she she wanted to slam that down, but just thought about it a little too much before hit swinging there and missed.
Sometimes you end up on the not top 10. You know, that we can't all be winners on every play.
Nobody is perfect.
Double hit from Cotton. So slowly inching their way back here into the second set are the Lady Spartans. They've got their libero, Roberts, sending. Well played there by Shania Cotton, the senior. Heady that time, saw the opening on the other side of the floor. Redirected the ball right where it needed to be.
This is kind of a 180 of the first set. It was St. Peter's this time that was down early on, and they've clawed their way back, and they've kept it within 4 or 5 points here midway through. It's can they finish, but that's not going to help right there.
Baldassar is certainly disappointed with that swing and miss right there. But a foul against Mansfield Senior actually is going to change the tide here as the Spartans get the serve back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but a big point there for St. Peter's. Now they're on a 2-0 run. Instead of this being 16-11, it's 15-12.
Yeah, if this ends up being a tight one down the stretch, we'll have to think back on this point and what a difference it might have made. As the Tigers scramble, but can't get it done.
So now a 3-0 run for St. Peter's. And Mansfield Senior is going to call a timeout.
Jessica wants to talk over some things with her squad. And talking to her before the match, she said that, you know, it's been nice to try to keep a little consistency here with the program. She's been here now for a couple of seasons and hasn't had too many assistants stick around, though. So she does feel like it's been a tough job with the philosophy changing from one year to the next. But she loves the kids, loves the program, excited to be out here with her squad, looking to get their first win of the season here.
And this kind of reminds me of the girls' soccer team here at Mansfield Senior. They finally have a coach that wants to stick around, put their philosophy in, because, like you said, they've just gone from coach to coach year in and year out at Mansfield Senior, and they're not able to put in that game plan because these players are pretty much changing their philosophy year in and year out with different coaches. Now that she's been here for a couple years, Mansfield Senior is now able to get a game plan together, and hopefully this will help them build into a winning team.
That's what it's all about. I mean, we've seen, I think the Cleveland Browns is probably the best look at a pro sports team. They change coaches so often and quarterbacks and coordinators that they haven't been able to consistently be good. So I think it helps so much, and probably even more at the younger level when you can build a program, because you really can start when they're young. And that's something that she says she's doing too, working on getting their youth volleyball established and getting kids playing together from the time that they're younger. Brooklyn sends back line.
That's a double hit. And to add on to your point, the last few years, Mansfield Senior, they're a team, I know, going up against the Ashlands and the Worcesters, didn't put up high scores, but that was for most of their matches the last few years. But then you get into this year, and even from the last match last night, they're competitive. It's just they can't get over that hump. Will we be able to see them get over that hump tonight? And the same for St. Peter's as well.
Yeah, both teams feel like they've been competitive. They've been in a lot of matches. Just have not been able to make the plays down the stretch when needed. Another nice play by Victoria Brown. These middle hitters for the Tigers have been pretty dominant here in these first couple of sets.
Yeah, it was a very nice strike there by Brown. Found that opening in the middle. Placed it perfectly for the point. Now the Tigers up 4 and 7 points away from a 2-0 set lead.
St. Peter's cannot scramble to keep it in play. So the Tigers inching closer to taking a commanding 2-0 lead as that let serve, handled by Baldassar.
Block back over.
Now set up outside Mans. Get it to Mans again.
Free ball back over to the Lady Tigers.
And that's a chance probably to set it up for Brown in the middle. Instead, Cotton sends.
The longest volley of the match thus far, Brian.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now Smith, cross court. Again handled.
Oh, nice job there by Sheldon, completely throwing St. Peter's off. They thought she was going to set it, but just a little one-hand flick over for the point.
Those are game-changing type of plays, too, whenever you have those long volleys and you end up being the team that gets the point. Can certainly help the confidence, and then on the other side, can be a little bit draining. Tough play at the net somehow, some way. Kanijah Green got it done.
And that's yet another big point for St. Peter's. Like you said, after that long volley, they weren't able to get the point. Would it take it out of them? No, they get the point right back.
Still trailing by 5, though. They need to go on a nice little run here.
They're going to call a lift that time. Now the TY Tigers 4 points away from a set 2 victory.
They've got Daisy Mans, the freshman, to try to do it. Sends at Baldassar, and the strategy pays off.
That was one of those knuckleballs. It looked like it was going left, cuts right at the end. And the receiver unable to play it correctly and goes out of bounds.
This time Baldassar will handle. Bumped up again. Green on the run. This time can't make the play, so Mansfield Senior 2 points away from taking a 2-sets-to-none advantage.
And now they're in complete control of this set.
Another nice serve. Dropping to her knees and making the play. There was Roberts.
Yeah, that was a nice dig by her.
Brown didn't get much on that one. See if they give her another shot. They will. Actually to the outside.
And another mishit.
That one right into the official. And so it will be set point on the serve here for Daisy Mans, looking to make it 4 straight points to end this thing and put her Tigers in a commanding advantage. And they will do just that. How about that? Mansfield Senior, after winning the first set 25-23, cruises here 25-15. And you see the good times being had down there. They've been waiting for a match like this where they could get theirs. We'll take another timeout. Welcome you back into Pete Henry after the break. See if Mansfield Senior can close it out with a 3-set sweep.
We are uniting Park National's family banks under one name to serve you more.
This bank's about service to the community.
I mean, your customers become your family, and by and large, you become their family.
Customers do come in and they do feel like they're a part of our family, and they feel like they know us and we know them and we care.
Park National, our family of banks, all together now.
Subscribe or be subscribed.
It's a 2-0 advantage for Mansfield Senior. Home cooking here for the Lady Tigers as they've got a commanding lead against visiting St. Peter's. Cross-city rivalry and dominating in that second set, 25-15. And what impressed you most, Trav, is the fact that their big middle hitter, Brooklyn James, per the rotation, spent a lot of that end run on the bench, actually. Wasn't even involved.
Yeah, she helped establish that big lead for Mansfield Senior. Then rotation took her out, and the rest of her squad took over, maintained the lead, and then pulled away late without her. So that's a really impressive showing for Mansfield Senior, not just for James, but for the team overall to pick up the slack that was left off by her having to sit out.
Both her and Victoria Brown have done a really nice job at the net, I think, dictating a lot of the action and making it hard for an undersized St. Peter's team to find their spots at times.
Yeah, and St. Peter's, a lot of early mistakes. Kind of what you saw with Mansfield Senior. However, St. Peter's unable to claw their way back to get into the set. They did cut it to 4 points midway through, but then Mansfield Senior, I believe, finished on a 10-1, 10-2 run, and they're in control, looking for win number 1 on the year.
Set up, here's James. Has to reach back a little bit. Now set up Baldassar. Outside, double block. James capitalizing, popping the pinata there.
Candy everywhere for the Tigers.
But she might have been into the net.
Yeah, she did touch the net. So that was all for naught, Brian.
So Lady Spartans get the first point. Tigers send it over with Cotton overhead. Shania Cotton's very active here for this particular point. Wasn't able to get to that one.
Yeah, another one of those campfire balls that St. Peter's excelled on in that first set. Now Roberts will look to extend this lead to 3-0.
I'd be pretty surprised if St. Peter's didn't fight to at least get a set here tonight. You know, I really was thinking as that one is tipped off of the double blockers, that we were probably going to be in store for a 5-set battle here. Both of these teams equally matched, I would say, and you know, I thought that they would really come out here and be hungry to try to get a win. So look for them to be super competitive here in this third set.
And I've said all season the toughest lead to hold is a 2-0 lead. You see that in hockey, you see it in soccer, you also see it in volleyball, where sometimes the team's up 2-0, they kind of ease off the gas, and it allows the other squad to mount a comeback.
Sophomore Janiyah Hudgens getting ready to send the serve. Daughter of ladies basketball coach Javar Hudgens here at Mansfield Senior. And that's perfectly struck right there by Adrian Allen.
So the Lady Spartans getting back to that game plan that started off so well at the beginning of the first set. And that's what you have to do, just stick to your game plan. You may be down a couple points, don't shy off of it. Stick with the game plan, make the other team make mistakes.
Brooklyn got a little bit lucky there.
She almost made a mistake there, but just got enough over.
So the misfire still finds its mark for Brooklyn James.
Montasia Lindsay checking in for TY to serve.
Running to make the play again was Cotton. Now she sets up, out wide. Shot by Mans.
Oh, James is there with the block again.
It has definitely been a block party for the TY Tigers, and most certainly the host of that party, one Brooklyn James. Another set, Brooklyn.
Another miss hit, but able to get it over.
And I think you see the impact that Brooklyn had at the net. Allen there sent that one too long.
Yeah, and that's what you see. I mean, the height disadvantage for St. Peter's, you have to get it over. James, who is playing a really good match at the net, forces those miss hits.
Baldassar with the bump.
That's a double hit.
So St. Peter's takes the lead back. And Abigail gets the serve. And not a good one from the senior.
Seen a lot of service errors by the Lady Spartans tonight.
They definitely are leading this match in miscues and unforced errors on their side, and it's a big reason why Mansfield right now out in front. Miscommunication that time. They didn't verbalize. Nobody called for that ball. Both Couch and Allen going for it. That one ripped off the top of the net. From Brooklyn as Dad looks on. The worried look on his
Why
face,
so
though.
serious, Effie? Your girls' team's up 2-0.
That's probably why.
That's probably why, yeah.
So Brooklyn sails that second serve attempt. And now she'll check out. Zykeia Mans back in. So they lose a lot of size when Brooklyn goes to the sideline. And I'm actually a little surprised with what we've seen from her, that she's not a sixth rotation player. Maybe just likes to get some breaks. Maybe her cardio conditioning is not where it needs to be. We'll talk to Dad about that.
Well, it's another thing. She might not be the best one to dig out from the back line, things like that. She's best at the three front line, the three net positions and serving. So at least they have the numbers to allow her to sit out as Mansfield Senior finishes off that tough point. And I know numbers are down for Mansfield Senior. I know Jessica said that despite them being Division II, they don't have a lot of numbers, a lot of girls coming out. And that might be another reason why, the record isn't pretty good.
Definitely said that it was hard to get girls to come out for volleyball, just that this program doesn't have the cachet that some of the other sports around this school have. Certainly when you look at some of the boys programs, boys basketball, fourth winningest program in the history of the state. Football right now rocking and a-rolling, even though they're below 500 on the season. They've had a great stretch under Choki Bradley, so I think they do just need to get the right coach in place. Maybe they do have that now that wants to stick around for a few years. Build the program from the bottom, and then you'll get more people to come out, some of your better athletes in the fall sports season.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll see them like a Shelby from around here. Shelby has, volleyball I think is their weakest sport this season, but you see the cross country, the track, the tennis. Their golf team this year might not be as good as the last couple years, but most sports they're excelling at. And Mansfield Senior is starting to get back to that point where you want to go out for those sports because they're so successful.
Rotation for the Lady Spartans. See Madison Bays back into the lineup. Just be on the back right. Serve goes to the back left, and Baldassar sent back by Brown.
And right now that's where they're missing James, because, you know, if she would have been on that net, she would have probably swat that back down. That just touches the line for a point.
Finley with the precision here on the big rip. 6-point advantage now for the Lady Tigers. Looking to run away with this. Free ball on the bump for Victoria Brown, who sends it back two-handed. Push shot to the floor.
She caught St. Peter's on their heels that time, just unable to get back into position to dig that up. And the Tigers have doubled up the Spartans here in set 3. Miscommunication somehow gets over. I'm going to guess and say that hit the antenna.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good effort from Isabella Smith, just to strike the ball the way that she did to get it across the net. As Brown again
playing one-on-one. And once again, just the height. St. Peter's just doesn't have the height to get that over the net.
Definitely the size advantage for Mansfield has been a big difference here in this match.
Oh, miscommunication once again.
And for St. Peter's, it's starting to add up, of course, and might bury them before they get a chance to get back in this.
The wheel's teetering right now.
There's another one. Reef, the freshman, couldn't make the play. But you see those twin towers, though, in the middle. I mean, it's probably intimidating when you're outsized by about 6 inches trying to play that middle hitter spot. Victoria again winds up. She's got another point, having a fantastic third set right now is Victoria Brown.
And, yeah, I think the wheels have fallen off. Mansfield Senior 6 points away from win number 1.
We'll see what kind of fight the Lady Spartans have in them down the stretch. Are they just going to roll over and allow Mansfield to take this? They're going to try to battle back here into this third set.
Nice block there by Couch. Gets the Lady Spartans back on the board.
And how about that, the setter, sophomore, coming up to the net against the middle hitter, the senior, and making the play. Here's the set, Baldassar.
Nice dig, but just can't get it back over.
So St. Peter's creeping their way back, cuts it down to 10, but they're going to need a whole lot more.
Yeah, they're going to need at least 3 or 4 more points on this serve to have a chance.
Baldassar gets
got the block again.
Tigers have done such a good job of rolling over that second defensive player for the block. Time and again, we've seen Maddie Sheldon right there was the player coming over with Victoria Brown, and then when James has been in the game.
Speaking of, James just came back into the game. They did that once again without James in the lineup. And now you have an even taller tower as James finishes that off.
Swat! Another nice play for Brooklyn. So Mansfield looking to close things out. Victoria Brown. Nice serve.
And the Lady Spartans calling their final timeout. TY 3 points away.
And according to the stats, that's just the second ace of the season for Victoria Brown. And you got to be impressed with Mansfield Senior tonight, Travis. You know, they haven't been in a position to do this to an opponent throughout the season, playing in a tough OCC. Their non-conference schedule, pretty decent as well, so they found an opponent that they thought that they could take care of, and man, have they. They've been pretty dominant here over these last couple of sets.
Yeah, and I mean, just the inexperience from St. Peter's really hurting them right now. But as for Mansfield Senior, they rode the momentum of that comeback victory in set number 1, and they haven't looked back since.
Victoria sends.
Nearly an ace it is.
So back-to-back service aces now for Victoria Brown. And they've picked on the libero a little bit today. Celie Roberts has definitely been the eye of the serve on quite a few of these Tigers possessions. This time they come middle. Baldassar with a chance. And she'll get the serve back with the side out for St. Pete's, but man, they need to get busy in a hurry.
Yeah. They can afford to give up 1 point, but that's all. So they're going to have to go on a 15-1 run.
See if Celie can get that started here.
And a miss hit, so
1 point at a time.
Yep, that's all you can do. And another miss hit, so 3 straight.
Lady Spartans pull within 23-12.
No quit by this squad.
Now Celie again, she's got a nice side-winding serve. I do enjoy looking at the spin that she's able to put on it. And that one's going to find the mark as well, so a nice late run here by St. Peter's as Baldassar finds the back. No need to panic here if you're Mansfield Senior.
Yeah, they still have a very large lead at 10 points, but now it's 9.
But as the momentum continues to accumulate on the other side of the net, maybe you should get a timeout. That's exactly what Jessica Pingatore is going to do.
It's pretty much, hey, let's 1 point, we get the serve back, we serve for the win. That's all you have to do. Just play your game. Play fundamental volleyball. Make St. Peter's make that mistake to get the serve back.
So Lady Tigers just 2 points away from their first victory of the season. And boy, they said it would be a sweet one to do it on their home floor against a cross-city rival to end their regular season before they get into tournament action.
Yeah, and I mean, any win for a squad like this, just, like we said, they're starting to get going with this head coach. And as for St. Peter's, I mean, they might lose this match, but it's a learning experience for a very inexperienced squad.
Definitely a young St. Peter's team, and they've got a lot to build on moving forward. I mean, so a couple of these players even too are two-sport athletes, like Kat Bryant. Also double as soccer players.
Spartans have cut this to 8. Nice serve for the ace. So that Mr. Momentum switching sides here, Brian.
And what it is St. Peter's has been, I hate to say it, but so bad on the serve here tonight. They've had way too many miscues where they haven't even allowed Mansfield an opportunity to send it back because they haven't put it in play. So that's all they've needed to do, at least get the serve inbounds, make the Tigers have to scramble and make a play. And right now, Roberts has done a nice job of that.
And, you know, they've kept it away from James. Since James has come in, she hasn't even touched the ball once. But finally, TY gets that serve back over, and it's match point.
And they'll put in Janiyah Hudgens, the sophomore, to try to close things out. You see the smile. She's probably a little bit nervous here. Sends a high float to the back. Baldassar.
And it's out. It's over.
So Mansfield Senior victorious for the first time all year, and they do it at home against Mansfield St. Peter's. And very impressed with what we saw from the Lady Tigers here tonight, certainly from those two middle blockers in James and Brown. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have some post-match interviews lined up. Probably get those two. Get James and Brown up here?
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right, so we'll take a timeout. Be right back. Live and free high school volleyball right here on the OH Report.
We are uniting Park National's family banks under one name to serve you more.
This bank's about service to the community.
I mean, your customers become your family, and by and large, you become their family.
Customers do come in and they do feel like they're a part of our family, and they feel like they know us and we know them and we care.
Park National, our family of banks, all together now.
Subscribe or be subscribed.
We welcome you back to Mansfield Senior High School here inside of Pete Henry Gymnasium, where for the first time this season, the TY Lady Tigers are victorious, and Victoria Brown clapping it up. She's excited. Tell me about the satisfaction getting the first dub of the season. Had to feel good, right?
Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this since the beginning of the season, and it's the fact it's our last home game. Yes, had to go out with a bang.
What do you think was good for you guys here tonight? What was a little bit different from previous matches where you were able to get the dub?
I feel like we had a lot more communication. We actually had fun this set. Yeah, we had a lot of teamwork this set too.
And then you individually, personally, I mean, they were outsized. You really used your length to your advantage. Tell me about that, how dominant you were in the middle.
Man, I love playing middle. I actually just started playing middle this year. It was something we were trying out because typically I'd play all the way around. Yeah, I think it was a good reset.
Talk a little bit about the mindset coming into this match. I mean, you had only won one set all season long, so you get an opponent that also has been struggling. Did it feel like this was a great opportunity for you girls?
I mean, I didn't want to think about it like that because we had thought that about Mansfield Christian, and you saw what happened. So I took it as we should just go into the game, clear mindset, and just play the game. That's what happened.
All right, so getting the victory before you go into tournament time, I mean, it couldn't come at a better time, I imagine. So a little bit of a confidence booster, and I bet you girls are excited to get into the tournament play.
Yeah, definitely. We're excited. We're ready.
All right, congratulations, Victoria, on the big victory today.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to have her handed off from one middle hitter to the next. We've now got junior Brooklyn James joining me. And Brooklyn, you too, you did a great job today utilizing your size advantage. You were a mismatch for them all night. Tell me what that felt like to be so dominant in the middle.
It felt good, you know, because it's our first win of the season, and we all worked together for the first time, and it just feels good to win.
The fact that you girls are not really used to being at the end of sets competing to win them, what was that challenge like for you girls knowing that you had to get over that hump and close them out?
I mean, just talking to each other, we struggle on that, and we just came together this game and won.
Talk to me about some of the conversation that happened within the huddles right after you girls won. What were some things that were said?
We was just hyped for real.
So moving on into tournament play now for you girls, now that you got a victory under your belt, you know what?
I feel like now that we see that we can win and we can work together, then we could do better on next matches and hopefully next year.
All right. If you have a message for Tiger Nation that you would like to send out, now is your time.
Be great. Don't stop.
All right. Great words of wisdom right there from Brooklyn James, junior middle hitter, helping her Tigers get the first victory of the season. All right, so me and Travis gonna close things out here with a little chit chat about the match. And man, I gotta tell you, I did not get to see Mansfield last night like you did. I was really impressed with how well they utilized their size differential. They took full advantage of that.
Yeah. Also, just the momentum, being able to compete with Mansfield Christian 25-23, 25-21 in those first two sets. It gave them the confidence coming into this one against a St. Peter's squad that was pretty much down like they were, knowing, hey, we can compete with teams that have beaten St. Peter's. Let's see if we can finish the job, and they were able to. Really impressed at the comeback that Mansfield Senior had in that first set. You know, St. Peter's could have run away with it and made it a whole completely different match, but that TY Tiger mentality, clawing back, taking the lead, finally winning that first set 25-23, just completely changed the complexion, and it changed the momentum. It made them believe, and they finished it off.
I think you just put that perfectly. I think the fact that they showed some guts, that they had to battle back in that first set, and they got the win, I really feel like it propelled them to victory over the last couple of sets, and they looked great. Unfortunately for St. Peter's, you know, no victories for them heading into the postseason play, and they were a little bit down today. I didn't feel like they had the same energy that we saw from them earlier in the season, so maybe it was the size differential. Like, I think it was just tough for them dealing with those two middle hitters that we just interviewed.
Yeah, and another thing that impressed me is when James was out of the game, the tallest player out of the game, their other middle hitters really just picked up the slack and continued the onslaught of blocks at the net.
So Mansfield gets a big victory, and man, it's amazing what that feeling can do for you and your club. You saw so many smiles here tonight. They haven't had that throughout the entire season. You know, just one set that they've won against Crestline earlier in the campaign. So, so happy for Mansfield Senior to finally get those good vibes, the winning feeling, and we'll see if it propels them to any type of more success as they get into tournament play, Trav.
Yeah. You just never know what momentum can do, and I mean, they're riding high right now. We'll see if they can get a couple upsets in the tournament.
All right, that's going to do it for us here at Pete Henry Gymnasium. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Park National Bank, Black Belt Pro Fitness, and Spherion Mid Ohio. Also like to thank our fabulous crew for coming out here tonight. On the main camera, we had my wife, Joy Hollenbeck. She's got a big celebration coming up tomorrow, her 4th anniversary. Also on the cameras, on the floor, Garrett Parlett, along with Storm Blunchley. For Adam Thompson, our director, I'm Brian Skronsky, along with Travis Berardi. Thank you all for watching. So long from Pete Henry Gymnasium.
See you guys.
We are uniting Park National's family banks under one name to serve you more.
This bank's about service to the community.
I mean, your customers become your family, and by and large, you become their family.
Customers do come in and they do feel like they're a part of our family, and they feel like they know us and we know them and we care.
Park National, our family of banks, all together now.
Subscribe or be subscribed.